Welcome back to another episode of Best Dental Marketing. I'm Brad Newman, founder of Dentainment. Today I want to answer a question I receive all the time from dentists. Brad, what's the best day of the week to host an in-office seminar? It sounds like a simple question, but the answer is actually much bigger than choosing a day on the calendar. Because if you do these seminars correctly, you're not simply hosting an event, you're building trust, you're educating your community, you're creating months, sometimes years, of marketing content, you're strengthening your website, you're improving your conversion rate optimization, you're creating content for YouTube, you're helping your search engine optimization, you're improving your AI search visibility, you're building relationships with local businesses, you're generating referrals, and yes, and you're creating more opportunities for patients to say yes to treatment. So today, let's talk about why I believe in-office educational seminars remain one of the most underutilized growth strategies in dentistry. Let's start with the obvious question. What's the best day? If I had to choose only one, it's Tuesday, without hesitation. After working with dental practices across North America for more than 15 years, Tuesday consistently delivers the strongest attendance. Why? Because people have settled into their week. Monday is behind them, the weekend feels far away, schedules have stabilized. People have a much better idea of what the rest of their week looks like. They're mentally available, they're organized, they're much more likely to attend. Now, if Tuesday doesn't work, Thursday is another excellent choice. Wednesday is also very dependable. Personally, I'd avoid Mondays whenever possible. Everyone is catching up. They're dealing with work, emails, meetings, unexpected schedule changes. Friday, usually not ideal either. People leave town, families have weekend plans, they mentally check out early. So if you're asking me, start with Tuesday. Now let's talk about the time. For practices offering sleep apnea treatment, I absolutely love lunch seminars. Noon until 1 o'clock, bring in lunch, keep it educational, respect everyone's schedule. For implants, cosmetic dentistry, smile makeovers, full mouth rehabilitation, I prefer evenings around 6 o'clock, and whenever appropriate, I can invite patients to bring their spouse or significant other. Many important healthcare decisions are made together. Now, here's where I think most practices completely miss the opportunity. They host one seminar, it goes well, everyone has a great time, then they never do another one. Instead, think differently, think bigger. Don't host an event, build a tradition if you're a larger practice. Host one every month if you're a smaller practice. Host one every quarter. Imagine your community beginning to say, oh yes, Dr. Smith's office always hosts educational seminars. Do you know how powerful that is? You're no longer known as the office with the nice website. You're becoming known as the office that educates people. That's a completely different brand. One tool I absolutely love for these events is Eventbrite. If you've never used it, take a look. It's fantastic, especially for complimentary educational seminars. Patients reserve their seats online. They receive confirmation emails, automatic reminders. Everything looks professional. And here's something really interesting. When someone reserves a ticket, even though it's free, they're psychologically making a commitment. People who register are much more likely to attend. It's simple, but it's incredibly effective. And now you have one registration link you can share everywhere. Your website, your emails, your text messages, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Google Business Profile, QR codes. Everything points back to one location. Simple, professional, easy. Now let's talk about something that fascinates me, the psychology behind all of this. One of the most famous concepts in behavioral science is called the foot in the door technique. The idea is simple. When someone agrees to a very small commitment, they're much more comfortable making a larger commitment later. Think about your seminar. You're not asking someone to accept treatment. You're not asking them to spend thousands of dollars. You're asking them to attend a complimentary educational event. That's it. It's easy to say yes. Then they meet your team, they see your office, they hear your philosophy, they ask questions, they begin trusting you. Now, scheduling a consultation feels natural, then treatment becomes the next logical step. You didn't pressure anyone, you simply educated them. That's a completely different experience. Here's another psychological principle. People trust teachers. Anyone can advertise, anyone can buy Google Ads, anyone can build a website, but not everyone is willing to stand in front of a room and educate their community. Teaching builds authority. Authority builds trust. Trust builds relationships. Relationships build practices. It's really that simple. There's another fascinating concept called the mere exposure effect. It tells us that people generally become more comfortable with things that are familiar. Think about what happens during a seminar. Patients meet your team, they walk through your office, they see your technology, they hear your personality, they begin picturing themselves as patients. By the time they return for a consultation, they're not walking into a strange office anymore. They're coming back somewhere familiar that reduces anxiety. And that's incredibly important. Here's something I want every dentist listening to consider. Stop thinking your website has only one conversion. Most practices think the only goal is schedule an appointment. I disagree. Sometimes the best first conversion isn't becoming a patient, it's attending a seminar. That's why I recommend adding a button directly in your website's main navigation that says upcoming in-office seminars. I absolutely love this idea. Even if someone never clicks it, it changes how they think about your practice immediately. Because now they're saying, interesting, this office actually teaches people. That button alone communicates so much. It says, we educate, we're active, we're involved in our community, we're different, we're not just trying to sell dentistry, we're trying to help people understand it. That's outstanding conversion rate optimization. It also creates another pathway into your practice. Someone who's nervous about scheduling may feel completely comfortable attending a seminar. Now you've started building a relationship. And here's another benefit. Every seminar becomes fresh content for your website, new event pages, photos, videos, patient testimonials, frequently asked questions, blog articles. Everything supports your SEO. Everything supports your AI search visibility. Everything strengthens your digital footprint. Now let's talk about food. Please support another local business. Skip the national restaurant chains, find a local cafe, a neighborhood deli, a bakery, a family-owned restaurant, bring in light appetizers or lunch. Now you're helping another small business succeed. Take photos together, tag them on social media, thank them publicly. Very often, they'll share your posts with their audience. Now you've introduced your practice to hundreds or even thousands of local people who may have never heard of you before. That's community marketing, and I absolutely love it. Speaking of community, don't stop promoting your seminar with your own patients. Think bigger. Reach out to your Chamber of Commerce, your Rotary Club, senior centers, libraries, community centers, neighborhood associations, health organizations. Many of them have newsletters, event calendars, email lists, social media pages. They're always looking for valuable educational events to share. Your seminar benefits their members. It's a win for everyone. And don't overlook local print publications. I know, everything today seems digital, but many communities still have wonderful newspapers, lifestyle magazines, neighborhood publications, especially publications read by adults who may be considering implants, cosmetic dentistry, or sleep apnea treatment. Submit your complimentary seminar. You might receive outstanding exposure, often at little or no cost. Now, here's one of the biggest opportunities of all. Record everything, every seminar, without exception. Even if only 6 people attend, record it. Think about what you've created. One presentation can become a YouTube video, 5 YouTube videos, 20 social media clips, blog articles, email newsletters, Google business profile posts, website content, frequently asked questions, internal team training, educational resources. 1 hour of teaching can produce months of marketing, maybe years. The people sitting in the room are only your first audience. The real audience is everyone who discovers that content over the next several years. That's an incredible return on investment. Here's how I think about seminars. I call it the educational marketing flywheel. Everything feeds everything else. The seminar creates video. The video strengthens YouTube. YouTube supports your website. Your website improves your SEO. SEO helps your AI search visibility. Social media shares your content. Google business profile stays active. Patients leave reviews. More people discover your practice. More people attend the next seminar. The flywheel keeps spinning. Every seminar makes the next one stronger. That's sustainable marketing. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one challenge. Stop asking, should we host a seminar? Instead, ask, how can educational seminars become part of our identity? Because that's the real opportunity. The practices that teach become the practices that people trust. The practices people trust become the practices people recommend, and the practices people recommend continue growing year after year, At Dentainment, we don't view in-office seminars as isolated events. We view them as the centerpiece of an educational marketing strategy. 1 hour can generate trust, authority, community goodwill, professional video, evergreen content, YouTube episodes, blog articles, SEO, AI search optimization, social media, patient testimonials, referrals, community partnerships, and ultimately, new patient relationships. That's an incredible return from a single educational event. So, what's the best day of the week for an in-office seminar? For me, it's Tuesday. Host them consistently, teach generously, serve your community, support local businesses, record everything, build your content library, and never underestimate the power of education. Because patients rarely choose the practice with the loudest marketing. They choose the practice they trust the most, and trust is earned through education. Thanks so much for joining me for another episode of Best Dental Marketing. I'm Brad Newman. I'll see you next time.